If Ivan gives Ben 2/5 of his money, Ben will have 3 times as much money as Ivan would have then. If instead Ben gives Ivan 1/4 of his money, Ivan will have $12 more than what Ben would have then. How much money do the two boys have altogether? So we're going to use the first sentence to decide how much money the two boys had originally. Of course, we won't be able to know the amounts right away, but we're going to use these. We're going to use circles to represent the two amounts the boys had originally. If Ivan gives Ben 2/5 of his money, Ben will have 3 times as much money as Ivan would have then. That helps me decide that originally Ivan had 5 units of money. I'm using 5 circles to represent 5 units of money. And Ben had 7 units of money. I'm using 7 circles to represent Ben's 7 units of money. It makes sense, and I'm going to explain it this way. When Ivan gives Ben 2/5 of his money, Ben will have altogether 9 units or 9 circles, and Ivan will be left with 3 units or 3 circles, and 9 is 3 times 3. So it makes sense to use 5 circles to represent Ivan's original amount and 7 circles to represent Ben's original amount. And just to make sure we understand that each circle represents the same amount of money. We're going to use the second sentence of our problem to work on the next step. Actually, just this part of the second sentence. If instead Ben gives Ivan 1/4 of his money, the problem I have is that Ben has 7 units. It's hard to find 1/4 of Ben's money. If it was 8, it would be easy. It would be 2. But since Ben has 7 units of money, I'm going to cut every single circle into 4 equal pieces, and I'm going to call each piece of each circle a quarter of a unit. Why? This will help me find 1/4 of Ben's money fairly quickly. For instance, if Ben originally had 7 units, he had 4 times 7 or 28 quarters. And 1/4 of 28 is 7. So he's going to give, basically, this picture helps me decide that Ben is going to transfer 7 quarters to Ivan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what we have here is basically, since we cannot find 1/4 of 7 very conveniently, we're going to divide each of the circles into 4 equal parts. Now, this picture tells us Ben must give Ivan 7 quarters of his money. So basically, Ben will transfer 7 of the quarters shown here in pink. These 7 quarters were here and they moved to Ivan. Now, Ivan has altogether, let's see how many quarters he has. Ivan has, let's see, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, plus 3, 27 quarters. And Ben now has 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 21 quarters. If you carefully count the quarters, after the second transfer, after Ben has given Ivan 1/4 of his money, Ivan has 27 quarters and Ben has 21 quarters. This is a crucial step, and we're going to be very careful about something here. Let's see. We're going to use this piece of the puzzle or problem. So according to the question, after Ben gives Iwan a quarter of his money, Iwan ends up having $12 more than what Ben ended up having. Now, remember from the last slide, we decided that Iwan had 27 quarters and Ben had 21 quarters. So Iwan has 6 more quarters than Ben. And I have shaded the additional quarters that Iwan has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 quarters, not the one that I didn't shade, these 6 quarters must represent the 12 additional dollars that that Iwan has. And you really have to get that. This is important. This allows me to conclude each quarter is worth $2. And that allows me to conclude that each circle is worth $8. So now our main goal is to find how much money the two boys had altogether. Remember, we decided that each circle must be $8. That tells me that originally Iwan had 8 times 5 or $40. And Ben originally had 8 times 7 or $56. So altogether, the two boys had 50 plus 40 or is equal to 96. So altogether, the two boys had $96. That's my answer. The answer to our question is $96.